Hey y'all, it's Meg. In this video, I'll be putting my makeup on and telling you all about how I got my wedding dress for free. Now, when you have ADHD, sometimes getting ready just sucks. I don't know any other way to say it. Sometimes it just sucks because there's all this stuff you have to do and there's like step by step. And so sometimes the easiest way to get ready is to do it with a friend. I've reached over and grabbed 4 different things, so I'm just gonna start with my primer. This is the dupe of the Milk Grip Primer that is e.l.f.'s Power Grip Primer, and I've been using it for about a month and a half now, and I got it because I wanted to wear it for my wedding, and y'all, my makeup did not move that whole day, which was fabulous, you know, because you want to look amazing on your wedding day. So for your makeup to not move is a very good thing. And yes, I did do my own makeup, but that is not what we're here to talk about today. Today, I want to talk to you all about, apparently I can't talk and curl my lashes, but I wear glasses, so we have to curl the lashes. We'll come back to that. Let's just keep going. I want to tell you about how I got my wedding dress for free. For free. I'm serious. When we got engaged, I was actually not one of those girls who had her whole wedding planned out. I mean, I did back on Pinterest in like, I don't know, 2010, and I'm not into mason jars nearly as much anymore. There were still mason jars at my wedding. I actually didn't think about that until just now. I did not have like a big wedding planned out. I wasn't really sure what I wanted, and the more we thought about it, the more I was like, can we just elope? That would be fabulous. Can we just elope? That sounded great to me. And honestly, I tried to convince my fiance to just elope for, I don't know, 9 months. And we went back and forth on it. And finally, we decided to go ahead and have a wedding, but to make it really small and to make it like, I don't know, 22 people, which was kind of wild because when we sat down and made our first guest list, it was 150 people. And we were like, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need to cut that down. So we had to try really, really hard. And our second pass was around 75 people. And finally, I think it took another 4 or 5 passes to get to the point where we had 22 people. It was the hardest thing we've ever done. But we knew that our moms would enjoy having a wedding, and so we were like, we will do it. We'll do it small. We decided to do it right before Christmas, and we decided this in September, which meant I had September, October, November, December to figure out what I was gonna wear, what he was gonna wear, all of these different things. So, of course, I make an appointment at David's Bridal because that seemed like a logical first step, and coerced my bestie into going with me. Not the best of experiences, which was like kind of on me, kind of on them. There was a girl next to me who was like falling in love with every dress she put on, and I felt kind of pressured because I was definitely not having that experience because I didn't have any type of dream wedding. I didn't know what I wanted to wear. And so I just wanted to try on different types of dresses and see what I liked. I kind of liked the kind of big ones. I kind of didn't. I couldn't really land on anything. Nothing was just like, this is it. That just didn't happen to me. So I decided to try some at-home try-on dresses, which you can do through Azazi. There might be other services, I don't know. But I got one from Azazi, and I was like, oh, now this I like. And it was very form-fitted. I could drop it. It was stretchy. I was like, this is fabulous. This is what I'm going to go with. And then on TikTok a few days later, I heard about this Facebook group called Shared Dream Dresses. And Shared Dream Dresses had this really interesting concept where once somebody is done with their wedding dress, they can decide to pass it along to another bride for just the cost of shipping. And I was like, oh, that's actually really interesting. Like, you don't have to buy a dress and then worry about what you're going to do with it once it's done, because you just pass it along. Like in the group, you continue to pass it along. That's what happens. So if you're the recipient of a passed along dress, you then pass the dress along. And I was like, oh, this is actually really more sustainable and more budget friendly. And I was like, what are the chances that I will actually find something in here? I'm going to guess little to none, but maybe it's worth watching. So I watched this Facebook group, and there was nothing in there that I liked. Absolutely nothing. Until all of a sudden one day, there was something that I liked. And I couldn't figure out why the dress looked so familiar. And I was like, what is that dress? Why do I know that dress? And I looked, and the measurements matched my measurements. And I was like, that's a really pretty dress. I'm just gonna message her. And so I put my information, I put my little comment in there, and I messaged her. I was like, hey, I commented. I'm one of the people. Here's a little bit about me and my fiance. Here's when our wedding date is. I'd love to talk to you about the dress. And she and I just started chatting, as you do. And turns out we both have cats named after Harry Potter characters. And that is apparently a pretty bonding thing. And so after talking, she picked me and I got the dress. And so this dress is an alpha. I'm trying to get my eyeshadow. So she picked me and I got the dress. And this dress is absolutely gorgeous. It is an Alfred Angelo. It is one of the Disney Princess Fairy Tale dresses from I think it was 2017 collection or something like that. And the dress is the Belle dress, like Belle Princess. Now, it's not modeled after the big yellow dress. It doesn't look exactly like that. It had more roses scattered on the tulle and that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm actually kind of nervous about this. What happens if I get the dress and I don't like it? And she was like, I am willing to take that risk as long as you promise to pass it on if you don't like it. And I was like, well, I'm going to pass it on if I don't like it or if I do like it, either way. And she's like, okay, then great. I think, I'm willing to ship it to you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got a label made and I sent the label over to her, and we messaged the admins of the group, and they, they really try to make sure they know who's doing what, so that one person isn't receiving multiple dresses, because that's against the spirit of the group. And so we're messaging, okay, so what happens if I need to make alterations? I'm 5'2". I'm not tall by any means. And she was like, oh, you probably will have to make alterations because I'm 5'3" and I wore 4-inch heels with it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make alterations to this dress. And she was like, I don't think that's a problem as long as, you just update the measurements when you pass it along. And I was like, great, cool, I can totally do that. So I did also decide to wear 4-inch heels, but I did have to get it altered. And I also decided to add removable sleeves to it. Their tulle, they button on, they caused so much headache on my wedding day. That is a story for another day, is the headache that the sleeves caused. But I loved that off the shoulder look instead of just a strapless look, Dress arrived, I tried it on, and I could not get it to zip for the life of me, and I stressed out. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do if this doesn't zip. So I got a safety pin and a piece of yarn, and I put it through the zipper, and I tried to zip it. Nothing. And I was like, okay, well, I can't ask Alan to do it. That's my husband's name. He was at the time my fiance. I was like, well, I can't ask him to do it. So what am I going to do? And I decided just to make an alterations appointment and kind of cross my fingers and hope for the best. What else was I supposed to do? I live really far, in the middle of nowhere, so there really wasn't anybody to come over and zip it for me. So I was like, we're just gonna hope for the best. And we're just gonna do it. So the day of the alterations appointment finally arrived, and I did not have the shoes that I for sure knew I wanted to wear. They were still in shipping. And so I had a pair that were like, I measured and they were the same height. And so I was like, oh, please let this work. And I got to the alterations place. I had never been to a bridal alterations place before. I'd never needed bridal alterations. So this was a first for me, and I didn't know what to bring and what not to bring. So I think I had way too much stuff. I had like 4 pairs of shoes. And I put the dress on, and they had me come out and walk over to this like little stand in the middle of the room. And you know, there's another girl and her mom there doing a try on, and I'm there by myself because my mom lives like 3 hours away. I honestly didn't even think about asking if she wanted to come down until I saw that a girl was with her mom, and I was like, oops. It didn't dawn on me at all. So I'm just kind of hoping for the best with this dress. I still, at this point, have not gotten the dress to zip. And I put it on a couple more times thinking that like, maybe I could get it to work. Like just maybe it'll happen. And so I was like, this is, it has to work. It has to happen. It has to zip. We checked the measurements. The measurements were the same. But up till this point, and I told them that. I said, look, I got this dress for free. I have actually not tried it on and gotten it to zip yet. I've tried it on at home, but that's been the extent of it. And they were like, you got your dress for free? How? I told them the whole story about the Facebook group, and they were just absolutely astounded that this is a thing that happens. And to be honest, I still am astounded that it's a thing. But I was like, look, I don't know if this is gonna zip. I don't know if we need bodice alterations and length alterations. Like, I don't know. And so I had never actually put this, you know, I'd put the dress on and like walked around the house in it, but it was just bunched up everywhere because it was way too long. And so I stepped onto this little wooden platform. It's like a little circle platform they have you step onto. And I was like, should we zip it before? And they were like, oh, yeah. And it zipped. Just like that. Just shoop, there it went. And I was just like, what happened? And they're like, oh, it was probably like stuck on the fabric. Of course, that's why I couldn't get it to zip. It was stuck on the freaking fabric. We get the excess cut off. I talked to them about potentially adding sleeves. And I was like, is this it? This is all I have to do? And they're like, yeah, we're basically done. Like, that's all you got to do. And I was just completely unprepared, one, to have to, I didn't know how long they were going to want to keep it. But they actually wanted to keep it up until the week of the wedding, and I was like, no, I'm coming to get it before then. And when I went back to get it, it fit perfectly. The length was perfect. And I had a free wedding dress. I paid shipping and I paid alterations for it. I have to get it cleaned, but I don't have to worry about it just sitting unused for years on end because I get to pass it along. Let's put a little cover up on that guy, shall we? I'm gonna use this green right here over that excess red. And then it looks to me like that's a little dull, so I'm gonna tap into this orange that I have and just tone that, and then we are immediately going to set it with powder. What do you use to do your brows? I have seen some girls use soap. I have seen some girls use Elmer's glue, like a glue stick, but this brow wax is my ride or die. I absolutely love it because it gives me these gorgeous fluffy brows, but it doesn't like plaster them to my head. And then I prefer to use a powder to fill in my brows, but you could also use a cream with it. I also really like the NYX Lift and Snatch, but you know, who freaking knows where that pencil is? I can only be responsible for so many things at once, which is why I adore having my entire face in this. It makes everything so much easier. My ADHD strikes hard when I lose things. Things just disappear and I'm just like, I don't know where they are. I don't know. I'll remember at some point. At some point in the future, my memory will be jogged and I'll all of a sudden know exactly where the thing that I've been looking for months is. I lost the lid to this. I literally just took it off. If you've stuck around this long, thank you. This is my first ever long form video, which seems kind of funny to say. I do live videos often over on other platforms where I have enough followers to do that, but I've never actually recorded a longer form video with the intent of posting it. So this is kind of thrilling and I'm really excited. I will be doing these Get Ready With Me's once a week moving forward, and I will have a second video during the week where I dive more in depth on a beauty tip or a trend, because I have ADHD and that is one of my hyper focuses is makeup and beauty, and I really enjoy it. And you know, sometimes you just need a creative outlet. So hit subscribe, as I will be popping up twice a week to get ready together, and you can do your makeup with me. Or heck, if you want to sit and eat your lunch while I put my makeup on, whatever you want to do, I'm just here to be your bestie. There is no stress one way or the other. We are just two ADHD girlies who need a little extra help from a body doubling situation, right? What do you think? Oh, I need to put lip color on still. I put lip liner on, I didn't put any color on. The amount of times where my ADHD has caused me to forget to do a step, and usually it's blending out my chin contour. There we go. I don't do any heavy baking. I just do a light powder set because I have dry skin. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know if the next time we get ready together, you'd prefer to hear about how I made my own bouquet or how my sleeves went rogue on my wedding day. See you next time.